Hello everyone and welcome to a tag video. This one is Get to Know My Taste. So this is a book tag video. I was tagged by Leslie from Books, Gers, and Purrs. I will link Leslie's channel in the description box. And I thought, let's go ahead and do this one. Leslie stated they were tagged by, who was it? Steph from Coffee Over Apples. The original tag was by Mari at My name is Marnie's. I'm guessing that's how that's said. I will also link Steph's channel and Mari's channel in the description box as well so that you can check those out. And so if there's, which Steph is still active, I know that, from Coffee Over Apples. I don't know about Mari. I haven't checked out that channel yet, but I definitely will. So I have not read the questions. I did watch Leslie's video and listen to her answers, but let's go ahead and get into this. There are 14 or 15 questions, and then you can tag someone. I'm not going to tag someone. If you want to do this, you can definitely consider yourself tagged by me, and just because I don't know who I would want to, there are plenty of people I would want to tag, but some people don't do tags, and if they've already done it, I don't know. So just because of that, I'm not gonna tag anyone. So question number 1, how do you rate books? It says give a quick rundown of how you do your star ratings, or if you don't use star ratings, how you evaluate books. So I rate books based on my enjoyment. That is it. I don't go off of it being literary gold or literary garbage. I don't go off of that. It's just based purely off of my enjoyment. So if I give it a 5 stars, I absolutely freaking loved it. Like potential favorite book ever, or for the year or something. Won't be able to stop thinking about it. 4 stars, I really, really, really enjoyed the book, didn't want to put it down, wanted to make time to read. 3 stars, it can be like I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, it's kind of like it's not a priority to pick up. 2 stars, it's okay, but I'd rather be doing other things. 1 star, did not enjoy it at all. And 0 stars would be like a DNF. So it's just purely off of my enjoyment. So that's it. I read for enjoyment. I don't read to evaluate or to be critical about things or anything like that. I'm just reading for my enjoyment, and that's it. And so that's what I rate it off of. Number 2, how do you approach reviewing books? What's your review style? Are you analytical, emotional, casual, or structured? Analytical, I would say, is more my thing. So I do these book talks or book reviews, whatever you want to call them. I call them more book talks. And I go through, okay, what's the representation in the book? Because a lot of people want to read books with more representation and diversity. So whether it's racial diversity, if it has LGBTQ rep, if it has, and I'll say if I'm finding like the LGBT rep, I'll say if it's like male, asexual, transgender, whatever it is. So I'll tell you what type of representation it is that I was able to find, and there's always a chance I could miss things. So I'll tell you the representation, I tell you the content and the trigger warnings. So if it talks about I don't know, like death of children, that would be one. Death of animals, animal torture. I will tell you that because some people can't handle any books, and some people will be like, okay, is it just mentioned, or is it like, is suicide mentioned, or is it actually described and depicted and the act depicted on page? So I'll tell you, okay, this is the content warning and it's just mentioned, it's just glossed over, or it is very much in depth. If I'm able to tell you one of those, I will. So I go over the content and trigger warnings. And then I go over the word usage. So, like for example, my mom, and there's other people in my area that I know who like to read books, but there are certain words they want nothing to do with. So, for example, if my mom were to ever, she doesn't care for romance, but if she were to pick up a romance, she would want it to be Probably, well, I don't know if she would want it to be Christian or if she wouldn't care if it's a Christian romance, but she would want it to be clean. So she would not want any sexual content in it, no sexual scenes, no sexual languages. So, for example, talking about a man's penis or calling it a cock, if that word is in there, she wants nothing to do with it and will not pick it up. There are books that she picks up that say shit and damn, and she can handle those. She doesn't like it, but she'll tolerate them depending on how much it's in there. But the F-bomb, she absolutely hates having that in there. Now, if the book, for example, is 300 pages and the F-bomb is in there 5 times, she can tolerate it. But if the F-bomb is in there like every other page, so 150 times out of the 300 pages, then she will skip the book, and she doesn't want to waste her time on it. And so, because I know several people that are like that, where they want nothing to do with certain words, or, and it's also words like the N word, and like November, that's used in a derogatory way for someone that is black. If that word is in a book, even once, they won't want it. However, if that book is used in a historical fiction setting, and it's used true to the setting and the time period, then they may be more tolerant of that word being in there, still won't like it, but they'll be more tolerant of it versus a book that's maybe in a modern day setting and that word comes out. So that's why I tell you kind of, this word is in there and it is used in a derogatory way and it didn't need to be in there, or it's a historical setting and using that word is true to the time period and the setting itself. So those types of things. So I will tell you what the word is. I tell you how many pages my edition was, again, if it's 300 pages, and how many times that word comes up. There's always a chance I could miss it. There's other words like the word hard will come up, but I only count it when it's used in a sexual way. Versus like, she fell and hit the hard floor, or the mattress was hard. Things like that. I don't count it in that way. Only if it's used in a sexual or derogatory manner will I count those words. And that way you'll know if it passes your threshold of tolerance or not. So it's more analytical. And then I have found I do like to read the about the author, because some people like that. Some people want to, if I read the about the author, maybe we'll learn something about the book being own voices, or, like if the author is part of the LGBT community, or if the author is black or something, then maybe it'll say something if they're from a different country, so that someone could say, I want to read from an author from Scotland. Then if the about the author says it, then they'll know. So that's why I say it's more analytical. All right, moving on. Number 3, what's the book that made you a reader? Whether it was your first favorite or the one that got you hooked. What book started it all? That I can't say, but I can say it was the author R.L. Stine. And it was his Fear Street books, not his Goosebumps ones. It was the Fear Street books. So can't tell you specifically which book started it all, but it was the author that started my love of reading. Number 4, do you have a genre niche? Are there certain genres you gravitate toward, or do you read widely across genres? I do read widely across genres. I really enjoy romance, fantasy, sci-fi, horror, thriller, mystery, cozy mystery. I read erotica. I'll read nonfiction, Western, like a Western romance, women's fiction, chick lit, historical fiction. I'll read any genre. So yeah, I definitely have a wide range that I'll read. Number 5, do you generally prefer character-driven or plot-driven stories? I have never noticed. I don't think I have a preference. I think it just depends on how well it is written and how well I can delve into the story. I don't necessarily... Hey, where did you get that? Sorry for that little interruption. Polly came in and was playing with something that she shouldn't. Sorry, I'm lifting the heating pad. She found a nail somewhere, and I don't want her playing with that because it's sharp and everything, so had to take that away, and it's rusty too, so it's an old nail. What was I saying? Oh, character or plot driven? It just depends on how it's written and how well I can care about the plot. I've read both. Do I care about how things are going forward with the plot? Am I invested in, well, how things are going to turn out, and the twists and turns? And then character development or character-driven books, am I attached to the characters? So I am good either way. I will read both. Okay. Number 6, what's a book you love so much that you don't care if others don't like it? What's the one book you love enough for everyone? I don't think I really have one. I mean, I really enjoy books so far by John Gwynne, R.L. Stine. I love, so maybe that's the one, is like, there's not really a book, but like the author. Some people don't like R.L. Stine at all, and I don't care. So I guess that's what I would go with, is the author's R.L. Stine's work, just because I have that nostalgic, got me into reading, really enjoyed it, things like that. Started my love of the darker books, love it. Okay, let's move on. What's a book, let's see. Okay, what's a book you love so much that if someone doesn't like it, you know your reading tastes don't align? The book or books where a difference of opinion is a strong indicator of different reading preferences. I don't have a book for that situation, because sometimes, like for example, I used to hate books by R.L. Stine. I've tried to read them, could never get into it. And then a couple years later, I tried R.L. Stine again and really enjoyed the writing. So sometimes it's depending on your life situation, certain content you can't handle, and so you don't like the book, and sometimes you don't like the writing and other people do, and so, you know, yeah, there's not really a book that, there is not a book that I have for that one, because it's all preference and things like that. So I don't have one for that. Number 8, what's in your trash pocket? What books, tropes, or themes that you know are bad, but you love them anyway? The only thing that comes to my mind immediately is I find I really like dark romance, and that tends to be very toxic, red flags. Would not tolerate that in any sort of relationship. If I have a family member or friend that's in a relationship like that, would not root for that or anything like that, but yet I enjoy it in fictional writing because it's fake, I guess. I don't know why I enjoy it in fictional writing. I don't know. So like the possessive, touch her and die, mafia, I don't know, really dark ones. So the darker I have found, the darker and more disturbing, the more I enjoy it. So I guess that's my trash pocket. I don't know. Moving on, number 9. Do you have any deal breakers in books? Something that if present immediately turns you off from a book? No. I hate animal death and animal torture, and I hate it being described and depicted on page. However, that's not going to turn me off of a book. Now, if the book is only about that, then yeah, I'm not going to pick it up. But going into horror, I expect it. Doesn't mean I enjoy it, but I expect it to be in there, and I'm pleasantly surprised when it is not, or when it is just kind of glossed over and briefly mentioned and not descriptive and in detail. So, any deal breakers? Ultimately, the answer would be no. All right, number 10. What's a strong opinion you have about a book released within the last year, whether it's overrated, underrated, or just a take you need to share? A strong opinion, I don't know. I don't think I have strong opinions, especially about a book released this last year. I tend to read more backlist stuff than newer releases. I will say I have been reading, and I'm currently reading the series Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. For me, it's okay. Sometimes I enjoy it more than it just being, it's okay, it's enjoyable, yeah. But if this book didn't exist, would I be sad? Or the series exist? If the series did not exist, would I feel like I was missing out? No. If I never started the series, would I still feel like I was missing out? Yes and no. No, because of how my enjoyment level with the series. Yes, just because it is so hyped. So I think for this one, I would say it's overhyped. And that would be my series. But it wasn't, or my opinion, but it's not a strong opinion. Take it or leave it type of a thing. Number 11. What do you look for in writing? What makes a book stand out to you? Is it prose style, themes, voice, structure, or something else? I think I don't really look for anything in writing. It's just the development of the plot, the development of the characters, things like that, and how well I can get attached to what's going on in the book. I have read books that are very lyrical and have enjoyed it. There are other books that are also really lyrical, but with how the author has wrote it or written the book, I did not like it so much. So it's kind of, again, it comes down to my mood and what I can stand in the current time. So I don't really look for anything in writing. I just pick it up, and if I enjoy it, if it sounds good, I pick it up, and then I hope I enjoy it, and if I do, great. If not, that's a bummer. Number 12, how do you decide what to read next? Do you plan ahead, mood read, or follow external factors like hype, recommendations, arcs, etc.? I don't do arcs anymore just because of the way I do book reviews. Arcs are subject for things to be changed, like something to be omitted completely or added in. Same thing with certain words. So I don't do arcs anymore. Recommendations, I may just add, if the book sounds good that's recommended, then I'll add it to my TBR list to eventually look into and hopefully pick up. Hype has no bearing, because just because something is hype doesn't mean I'll necessarily enjoy it. I'm just hearing a lot about it more. And the more hype, the higher the chance of spoilers. So as far as I think I'm a combination as far as structure and planning, because I do the TBR videos. I also go off of prompts for readathons. For example, as of filming this, it is G's Magical Readathon. We're in the spring equinox, and so I will pick a book to fulfill a prompt. And then sometimes a book will come up that it's like, I really want to read this right now, and so I'll go off of that. So it's kind of a combination. The structure and the books I pick are more of a suggestion, but also I'm in the mood to read them, and then whatever I'm in the mood to pick up out of that stack. So it's a guided mood read, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see, number 13. Where do you get inspiration for your booktube content? What sparks your video ideas? Other creators, trends, personal reading experiences? I would say personal reading experiences. And I think also the fact that where I am autistic, sometimes I think of things just a little bit different than someone that's maybe neurotypical. But just because I'm neurodivergent doesn't mean I think like other neurodivergent people, because it's also how you were raised in the culture and religion and opinions and things like that. So it's mostly just, I guess, about my personal reading experience, things that like and maybe a little bit of trends. I think the TBR games were really, really popular at one point. I still think they're popular, but not as much so as they used to be. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I created a game. So trends, maybe, if it's one that I like, then I might try to do it. Otherwise, just kind of what I want to do. So, and what's not overwhelming to me. All right, question number 13 is, where do you get inspiration? Oh, we already did that one. Where do I get inspiration? So, okay, for the booktube content. So number 14, if you could make any book go viral right now, what would it be? A book you think deserves more attention, and why? I'm looking at the books I've read. Oh, here we go. I'll hold up the first book in the series, One Poison Pie by Lynn Cahoon. Cozy Mystery Series. I've given every single book in this series 5 stars. It's, again, it's a cozy mystery. So it's a witch. It has fantastical elements because she's a witch. And one, I think cozy mysteries are fun. And I have not seen anyone talk about this series at all. I would love to see more people talk about this book, or about this series in general. So, One Poison Pie. Book number 2 is Two Wicked Desserts. So, more people need to talk about these. That's the only series that comes to my mind for that, or books that come to mind for that. All right. And the last question is number 15. Who are some booktubers with reading tastes similar to yours? I don't know. I've never paid attention because I read such a wide range. I have watched people that read primarily romance. There are other people that I watch that read primarily fantasy and sci-fi. There are other people that I watch that read primarily like love literary fiction above anything else. Others that I watch that prefer like the horror and the mystery thrillers. So I just watch a bunch of people because my reading tastes, and I read like every genre. I watch a whole bunch of different people. So as far as our reading tastes, do they completely align? I don't know, because I haven't read read enough books that they have read to see if they like it, to see if I'll like it, if they don't, if I don't. So I don't really have an answer for that one. So that is it. So that was the last question for, what was this called again? Let me pull it back up. Oh, I'm out of it. The Get to Know My Taste book tag. So yeah, definitely let me know your answer to some of these questions. Again, if you would like to do that and want to say that you've been tagged by me, you're more than welcome to. And are there things that I've said that you completely 100% disagree with? That's perfectly fine. Let me know your thoughts. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.